Did you know that in the United States, Jewish households have a median income that's nearly double that of non-Jewish households? Jews consistently have a higher household income than any other ethnicity in America. Pew Research reveals that 23% of Jews report earning $200,000 or more annually, compared to just 4% of the overall U.S. adult population. This striking difference in income levels between Jews and the rest of the population isn't just coincidence or dumb luck. It's rooted in strict financial rules that can be found in Jewish Holy Scripture, passed down through generations over thousands of years. These principles are more than just traditional wisdom. They're practical, foolproof strategies that span across various aspects of life, including business, social interactions, money management, and overall wealth creation. In today's video, I'll reveal these hidden secrets that the Jews have been holding onto for thousands of years. I will also show you how to integrate them into your everyday life to improve your financial situation. If you've been unhappy with your finances and you want to make a drastic improvement, you can't afford to miss this video, so watch all the way until the end. There's a common misconception that the Jews embraced righteousness and don't mind being poor, given that money is materialistic. But that could not be further from the truth. Jewish rabbis don't view poverty as some sort of holy condition to be in. It's seen as a disease that no one wants. As a matter of fact, instead of being considered virtuous and desirable, rabbis describe it as pointless suffering, which makes a lot of sense on a practical level, and the writers of the Tanakh share this view of poverty. Here's the thing. Because poverty is something the Jews avoid like the plague, the Jewish community is famous for never failing to earn a respectable living through meaningful employment or entrepreneurship. I bet you didn't know this, but in Jewish law, everyone is required to do everything in their power to be self-reliant and not be a burden on others. Even when the rich give a helping hand through philanthropy or charity, the beneficiaries never consider it to be a reward for simply living. They are still expected to earn a living for themselves. Speaking of earning a living, how would earning an extra $3,000 per month change your life? I recently discovered a side hustle that is perfect for beginners, and 99% of the population has never even heard of it. So if you were looking to add an extra source of income, I would highly recommend it. Click the link in the description to learn more. Even as many Americans and Europeans struggle with credit card debt, student loans, auto loans, and mortgage problems, the Jews, despite now being scattered all over the world, still thrive in their businesses and personal finances. But the question is, how? How are they so effective? The idea that Jews run the financial sector and the global economy is among the oldest and most damaging anti-Semitic concepts to date. Hitler even cited it as one of the reasons to annihilate the European Jewish community. And what about the condescending stereotypes? Jews are often seen as being cheap and greedy, both of which are just not true. When it comes to money, many Jews, especially the religious ones, look to the Torah, which is the Old Testament Bible, for direction. It teaches them so many things, like kindness, benevolence, and love for one's community. And the amazing thing is that it starts from childhood. Proverbs 22:7 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." It isn't just talking about frequent lessons. It means regular practice and applying them over and over again. Jews train their children to be independent thinkers and self-reliant enough to make sound financial decisions. They do this by using 5 jars, each carefully labeled: tithe, investing, savings, charity, and spending. Think of this as the piggy bank you likely have at home already, but with greater purpose. How about a practical example using just $10? After the child has received the money, he quickly calculates how much he needs to put in each jar, starting with the biblical instruction of him giving back 10% of any earnings to God. He'll place $1 in the tithe jar, leaving him with $9. This is really important to Jews, as it teaches them not to be greedy, an act that's emphasized by the next step, placing an extra 10% in the charity jar. Jews believe that giving wholeheartedly is life, and that they are building the community by doing so. But here's where things get really interesting. Beyond the charitable desire to help those who are needy, Do you want to know why this second jar is so important? They believe that the more generous a person is in giving without expecting anything in return, the more trust the community passes on to the giver and will want to support him whenever he makes an enterprise. The benefits of this cannot be emphasized enough. Support from a deep network is crucial to any business. Imagine learning such a powerful business principle at such a young age. You may want to remember this point because it will make even more sense as we go on. Moving on though, the third jar is for investments. In the Jewish training system, kids are trained to place 20% of their money into this jar to invest in any way they want, provided that it will give them more money in the near future. This isn't savings, it's strictly for investments. Yeah, you might think $2 is too little to make an investment, but how about something as simple as a lemonade stand business? When the jar racks up, they can buy lemons, sugar, and everything else needed to start their business. What I like most about this jar approach is that kids will be given full control and autonomy over when and where to invest their accumulated money, simulating life as an adult. The parent wouldn't even intervene when the kid makes a mistake, in order to let them learn from their failures. This improves the child's decision-making and sense of responsibility. Just think about the difference it'll make when they get older. Making money will become an instinct. As for the fourth jar, Jewish kids are instructed to have 10% of their money saved for emergencies and unforeseen challenges. Yep, the hands-on training even covers unplanned expenses. The fifth jar, however, is where they save the remaining 50% that hasn't been accounted for. The kids can use this for whatever they like, however they deem fit. But that's just one part. There are many other lessons where that came from. The Jews have such a special way of viewing money. They spend within their means and always have to adjust their lifestyle to fit their income, instead of being wasteful and spending carelessly. They prefer to do meaningful and valuable things, such as supporting their community and family, and investing in their skills, knowledge, and education, creating more value and wealth. Just think about this for a second. Do you treat money carefully, or do you blow it on expensive purchases? Do you create more value with your money, or are you chasing validation from your social circle by buying expensive items you can't truly afford? You may think that they're just being cheap, but the truth is that they know money is not eternal, but is always subject to risk and change, and so it has to be managed accordingly. There is a saying in the Talmud that goes as follows: efforts to earn money or actions and attempts to save money are a reflection of throttling. Great wealth requires hard work to pursue, and at the same time, it is necessary to eliminate loopholes in order to accumulate. This statement tells us that if you want to be rich, you have to do two things well: work hard to make money and work hard to save it. When you think about it, it's quite true. If you want to amass wealth, you will have to increase your income while doing all the things you can to keep it going and spending less than you earn. Both of these things are crucial to growing your finances. Ask yourself these questions. Do you have a clear idea of how much you spend every month? If yes, do you apply any effective strategies towards your savings and investments? How about lifestyle? Is it frugal, or do you waste your money on useless items? Your social circle also plays a significant role in your finances. Not a lot of people know this, but the Jews place a lot of importance on socializing and making bonds with people in their community because it's crucial to their personal success and happiness. Remember the second jar of charity and how I told you that the community will do all it can to support those who have business endeavors? It's all about the network. In an average community, no one cares about the next person. No one goes out of their way to help their neighbors and their businesses and take things forward. Everyone is basically an island. However, it's a different ball game in the Jewish community because they believe social circles would not only provide friendship and support, but also information and opportunities. They will work hard to create and maintain a social circle that is conducive to their development and growth. They will watch over themselves, assist each other, and ensure the cash flow keeps flowing within the circle. Have you ever heard the saying, if you want to get rich, you must learn from the rich? It's cited from the Talmud and tells us that if you want to get rich, you have to learn from and understand those who are either rich or on a path to getting there. You can't just wake up one day and try to make your dreams a reality. You need to study and learn from the best. Only by doing this first can you gain their rich experience, skills, methods, resources, knowledge, and so on. This idea works even better when you're being mentored physically, because you'll also gain their trust, recommendations, and network, which could open a lot of doors and be faster for you. It's really interesting how just by reading the Talmud, we can learn the Jewish wisdom and secrets about how to make, maintain, save, and invest money, which could accumulate and lead to wealth. But thankfully, this wisdom and secrets that have been passed on for generations don't just apply to the Jews. It's for anyone who wants to create wealth. There's another thing that I'd like to talk about relating to work. Have you ever wondered how much effort you'll need to get to the next level in your work life? A lot of people make the mistake of bending over backwards to make ends meet, thinking it's the best path to financial freedom. And while I admit, I used to think that way too, the truth is that it's an endless chase. Putting in more time at work isn't going to create riches for you. Let's say you have a shop and make hundreds of dollars in profit. Will that increase if you work extra hours? Would it give you the revenue needed to expand and create more branches? If not, what is the point of working more hours? Instead, you've got to go back to the drawing board. You've got to learn from better minds and apply the right steps to take your shop to the next level. Again, working smart combined with consistent effort will beat raw hard work in the long run. Speaking of businesses, when it comes to business transactions, Jews, or at least the traditional ones, make the best business owners and customers. They're some of the most honest people you can deal with, and they treat the other party with the utmost respect. Personally, I've experienced this a lot. I've lost count of the number of times I've been given amazing deals and first-class customer service from Jewish businessmen. At first, I thought it was a coincidence. After all, good people do exist, even in the business world. But then, given how the patterns were just too repetitive, I had to do some digging of my own. But boy, I was glad I did. You see, the Torah places emphasis on surrounding oneself with people who don't cheat and have strong moral values, while condemning those who intentionally take advantage of others. Nevertheless, do you want to know what I find interesting about this? Their integrity keeps their customers coming back for more. I always see myself purchasing more products from the businessmen who were genuinely trying to help me, instead of those who just saw me as a source of profit. So here's the big question. Are you currently unhappy about the fact that you weren't lucky enough to have started most, if not all, of the approaches right from a young age? The truth is, it's never too late to start. Take me, for example. I wasn't spoon-fed these secrets when I was a toddler. I wanted to improve my life and dove headfirst. As I researched more and applied it to my life, I started seeing results. Believe me when I tell you that it has been a blessing in my life. No matter how old you are, you can start applying these rules and principles today, starting with the holidays that are fast approaching. No matter how little, start somewhere. Also, don't forget to make deliberate plans to train your children, especially if they're still young. This could potentially be one of the best investments you could make in their lives. That said, you can choose to ignore these secrets and keep living with your normal routine. Just don't forget that it is not a coincidence that the Jews are where they are today.